Besides this is obviously going to be, if you want to know what really happened, you need to watch this. This is the only place you're going to get this type of interview or
I don't really know what this is, but I didn't do it. I'm innocent, Judge. I'm not guilty. I'm innocent.
We, the jury, being duly impaneled and sworn, find the defendant, Matthew L. Moore, not guilty of murder, as he stands charged in count 1 of the indictment.
Elvis has left the building. It's done. Over. People, it's over. Elvis has left the building. It's done. Over.
Press the like, press the like, press the like, please. Press the like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me if you liked and subscribe. Like and subscribe, everyone. Let's fucking go. Yo, 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 yo. Here we are, people. Let's get grooving. Let's get it on. We got a new trial. It's only a short trial. It's like a 2-day trial, I think it is, if that. I just found it. So I'll get into it in a second. Let more people come in. Lady Amy, how are you? Afternoon, Dylan. Waiting for my steak tips. Chop, chop. There we are. I know. We got a date, Amy. When I come to Boston, we're on it. We're on it. Steak tips galore. Stormcat, sorry. How are you, my darling? Hope you're well. Yeah, trucker again. Here we are, Daffy Dill. Amy's back. Guess who's back? Amy's back. Steph. Hey, you know what, Steph? You know what you like? Ole, 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 ole. Ole, 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 ole. Erin hack, hack, hack. Ole. Erin hack, hack, hack. Ole. There you go. Crystal's here. Crystal, I'm here for you, but I'm going to say I'm here for you. T's and P's to the family, Crystal. You know, we're here for you to support you through this tough time. Let's go, girl. Katie Santos, let's fucking go. Amy, let's go. Hello, Robin. Funny, Potty Mouse here. That's it. We're going to be demonetized already. Now, what's this trial about? I will go through in a second. I'll go through in a second for you. Good afternoon to you, Tracy, my darling. How are you? Hope you're well. Hello, Teresia. How are you? All have a problem. I think so. There you go. Hello, everyone. Sheila, hello to you. I'll go through it now very quickly for you, and we'll play it. We're a little bit behind. It's already started, but I don't know much about it. I've only seen probably one article about it, so we'll get into it. Here you go. That's the best way. Here we go. Love the intro. I've dropped the other one. I've dropped the legs up in the air. But I love the intro songs. It's so drama. Yeah, Mexi Texi. Shout out to her. Cylinder, I love the intro. Thank you, my darling. I'm running in circles. Where am I, Taffy? Hey, Dana. Dana, remember everybody resisted the silent tonight. Dana is on resisted silent. Him and Tracy and our favorite person in the whole world, Sean El Jefe McDonough. is on Resistant to Silence tonight. So let's go support Dana, subscribe to them, and also show Sean some love over there, which I know you will. I will fill you all in a second. Here you go. Dana loves the press the like, press the like, press the like, please. Press the like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. If you'd like to subscribe. There you go. Dana, just for you. Crystal's here. Let's go, darling. I love Judge Boyd. Yes, Judge Boyd. So if people haven't seen Judge Boyd before, you're in for a treat. She's one of my favorite judges ever. Next song Dilly comes up will be a rap. Hit the like button, everyone. Here we go. Got my hack. She's listening somewhere. Hacks in the weeds listening somewhere. She's not watching, but she's listening somewhere. Her ears are perking up. Like she's only 4'1", so you know. Hey Lisa, how we doing, my darling? Hippie Chicks here again. Happy day, Deb. How are you? Robin, Donna. Hello, my darling. How are you? There you go. Thoughts for Crystal. There you go, Crystal. Crystal's brother's not very well at the minute. He's going to go through it. So, T's and P's to Crystal and the family. At least once a day. Is that it? Hey, Bev's crying now. I want an emoji with chicken running in circles. Hey, Dana here. Hey, Elisa, my darling. Rapid Michigan there. A few of you here. I will be there, Dana, from Amy. I'll be there for you, Dana. Love you singing. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, my darling. Hello, Storm Catty. Hello, all. Happy hump day. Is it hump day today, is it? Here we go. Here we go. Pop back in. I'm thankful you're here. Mama Ames, thankful you're here as well. There you go, Dana. Crystal's there. Right, people, let's get this on. Let's get the show on the road. Right, let me just put this. So this is what the trial is about. You're all asking what the trial is about. This is what it's about. It's in Texas. Let's listen. I've not listened to this. I don't know what's going to come up here. I don't know what this is going to say.
And crashing into the back of a vehicle and killing a woman. Alexander Castro is set to stand trial for manslaughter later this morning. Now, Castro was already in court yesterday for jury selection. The prosecution claims in July of 2022, Castro was driving 91 miles per hour in a construction zone on Highway 281 near TPC Parkway when he hit the back of another vehicle that was stopped. Now, an arrest warrant states that Castro didn't even hit his brakes before that crash. The driver of that other vehicle was 24-year-old Alexandra Shea West Sabert. Now, she died from her injuries. Investigators tell us that Sabert was stopped after being caught up in a traffic backup on Highway 281 that had been caused by a wrong-way driver when she was hit.
There you go, everyone. So that's what it's about. Oh, motherfucker, get away. So that's what it's about. This guy speeded 91 miles per hour in a construction zone and smashed into the back of a car. So I'm not really sure what this trial is going to be about because it's like, obviously, he's done it. And there's data that he did not press his brakes. So I'm not really sure. He's entitled to his defense, though, so we'll see. Hey, Kathleen. Hello, my darling. Oh, shit, it didn't come up. Kathleen, how are you, my darling? Hang on, where are you? You've gone somewhere. Kathleen, here you go. Oh, no, I don't want Dana. I want Kathleen. Hello, my darling. How are you? Was alcohol involved? Hang on, let's have a look here. Press the like, press the like, press the like, please. Due selection, blah, 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 blah. No. Okay. So SAPD investigators obtained a multitude of evidence indicating that Castro had been drinking alcohol at the driving range and had purchased alcohol at several Northside bars before the fatal wreck, according to the warrant. So, Amy, my darling, I just played the video. Go back 2 minutes. I gave you a shout out at the start as well. I said that's a date, Amy. I hope you enjoyed it, and that was very cool of your son catching his first fish. Let's go. This is what I mean. Why would he not take a plea deal? I don't get it. Robin, that's my favorite Christmas song. Happy Days. Right, hang on. What are we doing? I know, on the flowers. Happy to be back. Happy days, Kelly. Hello to you, my darling. Right, I think I've seen hello to everybody. Right, let's get going. Or Sean would say, let's get it on. Right. Let me entertain you. I'll get the quote up here now. Let me entertain you. Bam, bam, bam. So, AB, if you've not seen it, it's basically this guy. If you don't see the video, this guy is accused of manslaughter because he was driving 91 miles per hour, allegedly, in a construction zone, and a girl was parked there, and he rammed in the back of her, killing her. And now we hear that alcohol was involved and everything. Maybe plea wasn't offered. Yeah, you might be right. Mia, you might be right. I'm not sure if I'm seeing Mia right, but I just call you Mia. Tell me if I'm saying it wrong. Hey, Teresia. Right, here we go, everybody. Let's go. Let's listen to this then. So this is where the witnesses will sit. Oh shit! Hang on. This is where witnesses will sit. This is a defense table. This is the defendant. This is a prosecution table. And normally Judge Boyd will be here somewhere. Normally. You're fine. Mia, happy days. I'll call you Mia then. Where you from, Mia? Where you from? UK or the States? Yeah, because Judge Boyd.
All right, court is calling.
Oh, Judge.
2022 CR 11862, State of Texas versus Alexander Castro. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Danny Westbar and Jason Garahan for the state.
And for the defense?
I love Judge Boyd. I just going to show you this before we get started properly. So she's always got fresh flowers every day. You see both there. And she will see she's always got a handbag. She always a different handbag. Always got different handbags. Oh, he would say Colorado. Happy days. Always got some flowers and that. She's awesome. She's my favorite attorney. So anyway, I just want to show you that. Queen Boyd. Right, here we go.
Gary Hillier and Jasmine Olguin for Mr. Castro.
And are you Mr. Castro?
Mr. Castro.
All right. Is there anything anyone wanted to discuss before the jury's brought in?
Very briefly, Judge, if
Yes.
you may. Your Honor, I just wanted to, I think we might have done it yesterday, but it's a Wednesday. Just want to make sure for the purpose of protecting the record that I...
Whoa. Hang on. That's a British guy. This is the English speaking lawyer. The fuck's going on? This is not American lawyer. Hang on. Zach, listen. Zach, do you agree this is an English, British speaking lawyer?
My running objection to the makeup of the jury panel is overruled for the rest of the trial. I don't have to make it again.
Oh, well, the record will reflect what it reflects, counsel.
Oh, okay, Judge. Well, in that case, then I'll better do it again. I just want to make sure that the record shows that we object to the panel as seated, because for the reason stated yesterday, panel member number 24, I tried to strike her for cause because she's a clerk in this court and she'd seen documents in this case which we believe is improper. She was not struck for cause and we had to use a peremptory strike on her. I asked for an extra peremptory, which the court denied. And then we had to strike another juror who made it. Well, we didn't get to strike a juror who made it onto the panel. I believe that was juror number 31. And the reason we would have struck him was because he was involved in a rear end accident where he was injured and his mother was injured, and that's why. And so we would like a record to reflect we want to run an objection to the panel, so I don't have to make it again, please, Your Honour.
Okay, I mean, the record is what it is.
I've made it,
Yes.
so I think, is it,
All right.
Judge, can I have a ruling on that, please, just for the record?
What I previously ruled, yes, I previously ruled on it, counsel.
Right.
But what I can tell you is that both the state and defense agreed that the panel member that you had an objection to, the items that panel member would have seen was the indictment. The indictment is going to be read to the jury. The other item that the panel member may have seen was the fact that your client is on bond. And usually counsels who are representing clients, what they don't want someone to know is that their client is in custody.
That's correct, Judge. They are
All right.
documents you've seen. Yeah, don't disagree with
All
that.
right, see, you say that in other documents, but both parties agreed that she had seen perhaps two documents, the fact that he was on bond and the fact that she's seen an indictment in this case, and that she's only been in this court since May. So we're going to bring the jurors in.
And the last thing is, Your Honour, we're going to invoke the rule after opening, and
Just invoke it.
yeah, okay, Judge, we invoke the rule then, Your Honour, and we just want to check with the state that we are, I don't know what order they're bringing their witnesses in, Judge, so that we don't have to, so I'm not disturbing the court's flow of trial. If Officer Morgan is first, if he's coming, I don't know. We would like a Jackson versus Dano hearing outside the presence with him. When Detective Martinez comes.
All right, so this is what we'll do. The state is going to call their witnesses. And then guess what? If either one of you all need the jury to step outside because we need to have a hearing, just approach, just tell me, Judge, may we approach?
Go ahead, Judge.
And I will know that means that you all want the jury to be excused. I will excuse them and we will have the hearing.
I can do that, Judge.
All right.
Judge. Thank you.
All right, let's bring the jurors in.
All right, for the jury.
Dana, do me a favor, right? Don't listen to Heather. Just a piece of advice for you. I'm joking. I love Heather. Colorado, Heather. This is Texas. Judge Boyd is in Texas, people. Heather, I love you. Sorry for taking the piss, but you enlighten my day, so it's all good. So this guy sounds similar to what Zach would. People said, "How would
All right,
you?"
everyone, please be seated.
Similar to this guy. Landa, mate.
I hope that everyone was able to find a parking space in the parking garage. All right, and remember my previous instructions. If you ever need a break, just do the break sign and we will see it. And also, if you're ever having trouble where you can't hear what a witnesses are saying or the questions that are being asked, just raise your hand and let us know, because both parties want you to be able to hear everything. All right? So you all were given an oath downstairs, and that was a general oath, but I need to give you an oath for this specific case. So if each of you will raise your right hand for me, please. Do each of you solemnly swear and affirm in the case of the state versus Alexander Castro, you will a true verdict render according to the law and evidence, so help you God? Yes. All right, you can lower your hand. State.
Yes, Your Honor. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, the grand jury of Bear County, state of Texas, duly organized and paneled and sworn as such at November term AD 2022 of the 175th District Court of said county and said court at said term, do present in and to said court that in the county and state of aforesaid and inferior to the presentment of this indictment, on or about the 22nd day of July 2022, Alexander Castro did recklessly cause the death of an individual, namely Alexandria Seibert, hereinafter referred to as the plaintiff, by driving and operating a motor vehicle at a speed that was not reasonable and prudent under the circumstances then existing, failing to keep a proper lookout, failing to apply brakes in a timely manner, failing to take a proper and necessary evasive action to avoid colliding with another motor vehicle, failing to maintain a proper following distance, operating a motor vehicle after consuming alcohol, operating a motor vehicle while impaired by reason of the introduction of alcohol into the body, and it said acts and omissions resulted in the motor vehicle driven and operated by the defendant colliding into a motor vehicle occupied by the department. Deadly weapon allegation entered as further presented into said court that the defendant did use and exhibit a deadly weapon, to wit, a motor vehicle, that in the manner of use and intended use is capable of causing death and serious bodily injury during the commission of this offense against the peace and dignity of the state. Signed, jury, the foreman of the grand jury.
To that, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
All right, thank you. State, do you have any opening statements?
Yes.
All right, you may proceed.
On July 22nd of 2022, Alexandra Cybert was heading home. She had just spent the day with her boyfriend, Josh. They went golfing, they went out to dinner, they went back to Josh's apartment and watched a movie. Her home was her parents' house. In order to get there, she had to go north on 281. While she was on 281, she ran into traffic. Traffic as far as the eye could see. You're going to hear from Officer Morgan. He's a 3-year San Antonio Police Department officer. He was responding to the cause of the traffic. It was a car crash that happened further north on 281. Now, while responding to this car crash, Officer Morgan was notified of another car crash. It happened further south on 281. He was in his patrol vehicle. He got out and he started walking over. But then he started running because he saw several cars that were very damaged. He ended up talking to 2 of the drivers of those damaged cars. One of those drivers was the defendant, Alexander Castro. Now, while talking to the defendant, Officer Morgan noticed a 3rd vehicle that had been heavily damaged. It was a little further south. He ran. Inside that car was Alexandra Cybert. She was unconscious. She had an open head wound. She was bleeding heavily. She never woke up from that. EMS came and took her to University Hospital, and Officer Morgan began his part of the investigation. Now, Officer Morgan's a patrol officer. Whenever there's a potentially fatal crash, patrol officers have to call SAPD's Traffic Investigation Division. They're the experts when it comes to car crashes. They can recreate, they can figure out how this happened. Officer Morgan didn't have any eyewitnesses who could directly say exactly what happened. So all of the drivers that were involved were kept at the scene so that they can talk to TID. But Officer Morgan made a mistake. TID told him to follow up. He didn't. While conducting his investigation, he spoke with the defendant several times. You're going to hear that. He asked why things happened. You're going to hear what the defendant had to say. TID eventually realized that there was no follow-up. So several hours after, they made the scene, spoke to the drivers, and began their investigation. You're going to hear from several of the witnesses, several of the people who were on the highway when this happened. They did not see what happened. One of the witnesses was involved. His car was half crushed in due to the defendant's car hitting him at a high speed. You're going to hear from several 911 callers who saw the traffic, who saw the long line, and decided to exit because that's how far away you could see this. They had enough time to exit. One of the 911 callers saw the defendant's vehicle speed down 281, approaching all the cars that were waiting there in traffic. He didn't see the accident. He saw the debris fly in the air. He heard the actual crash. You're going to hear from now Sergeant Martinez. She was a detective at the time with TID. She was the primary detective that was investigating this case. She looked at the roadway evidence. She looked at data from both Alexandra's car and the defendant's car. And she was able to calculate and figure out exactly how fast the defendant was going. He was going over 90 miles per hour. He never hit his brakes. He never made any attempt to avoid any of the cars that were so vulnerable there. State's asking you to listen to the evidence. Just think about what we're presenting. Officer Morgan was disciplined for what happened, for not following up. He was also disciplined for not further investigating. And you'll hear from him why that happened, what happened there. But don't let that failure on Officer Morgan's part cloud you and how reckless the defendant's actions were. So the state's asking you again to listen and to judge how reckless his actions were that night.
Defense, any opening statements?
Oh, may I proceed?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Oh, yeah. You guys want to see that? You want me to see that?
No. Okay. And state and all attorneys, please feel free to move about the courtroom if you are unable to view an item.
Thank you, Judge. This case is a tragedy. It's a tragedy. We have to acknowledge that up front. It is a tragedy. And Alexandra Saber lost her life as a result of this tragedy. But this tragedy is not a crime. And I'm going to tell you why it's not a crime. And I can agree with some things that Mr. Escobar said, but I disagree with others. I'm going to tell you the whole story about what happened that night. Because I tell you what, I didn't mention that name. Shayna Alassal. You're not going to hear her come as a witness. No criminal case filed against her. But Shayna Alassal is the first domino that caused this chain reaction where Alex drove into a scene of a crash. Shayna Alassal, you're going to see, evidence is going to show that Shayna Alassal argued with her husband. Shayna Alassal drank. Shayna Alassal drove the wrong way on Highway 281. She drove the wrong way up the exit ramp on 281 and had a collision with a vehicle. Shayna Alassal was driving the wrong way on the highway. But for the conduct of Shayna Alassal, the truth is, but for the conduct of Shayna Alassal, Alexandra Siebert wouldn't have been sitting on the highway, parked in that long line of traffic that Mr. Escobar talked about. Alexandra Siebert would still be here. She wouldn't have been sitting in the traffic, but for the conduct of Shayna Alassal. Now, she's not here. She wasn't arrested. Shayna Alassal was driven home to meet her husband that she'd argued with by the police. And I hope she's watching today. I hope she's watching and listening to this, because she's not here to answer for what she did that put that man in the chair there, where the state is trying to convict him of killing somebody. Now, was he driving too fast? Yes, but he was driving too fast on the right way, going the right way down the highway. So that's the first thing. The state talked about causation in the PowerPoint, in the voir dire. They said, but for the conduct of him. That's what they have to prove, but for the conduct of him, Alex. Ms. Seibert would still be alive. But it's but for the conduct of her. But it's not just her. We're not just blaming Shayna Alassal, even though she did get drunk, drive the wrong way on the highway, have a collision, then get driven home by the police. Mr. Escobar talked about the police. Now, they do a difficult job. I used to be a police officer. Dealing with a scene like that is difficult, but they have got a responsibility. The police officers at the scene are the second domino in this chain of events that leads to the unfortunate death of Miss Siebert, because they've got a duty to protect. They've got a duty to warn. And like Mr. Escobar said, they were on scene for approximately, the evidence is going to show, the officers were on the scene for 22 minutes before there was another accident. on the highway. They put out no flares. Everybody's seen an accident on the highway where the police put out flares. They didn't put a police vehicle in the way. They didn't call one of their buddies on the radio to say, hey man, can you go and protect the scene? So some flashing lights so people don't crash into them. Any of that. No one put on a luminous bright green jacket to say, hey, slow down, slow down. No one did any of that. Now we talk about the definition of recklessness. That's what Alex is charged with. What the police officers did at the scene is the definition of recklessness. It just is, it's the truth. Because you've got to know about a risk. You've got to know about a risk, and then you've got to consciously disregard it. How do we know the officers consciously disregarded a risk that they know about? It's in their policy and procedure manual. And you're going to hear it from the sergeant who used to be a detective. It's one of the basic policies that the police have. One of the first things they do is warn. You go to a scene of an accident and you warn. You make it safe. They didn't do that. They just got focused in on the first accident while traffic was building up, building up, building up, building up, building up, building up for 20 minutes. Now, he might have been driving too fast, but he was driving the right way on the highway. Shayna Al-Assal wasn't. She's the first but for. The officers are the second but for. Now, let's talk about Alex. Let me talk this Alex. Let me talk about Alex Castro. Talk about him. And it's going to happen throughout this trial. And I want you to watch out for it, please. State is trying to turn this into an intoxication manslaughter case. And it's not. He was out for 8 hours before this accident. And you're going to hear from him. You're going to hear from him on the videos talking to the officers. He said, I had 4 beers earlier, man, at the driving range. 8 hours before this happened. They're trying to turn this into an intoxication manslaughter case, and it's not. And they're trying to do that because recklessness is presumed, and they can't prove it. Don't let them do it. It is not. Don't let them play on your emotions so that you turn it into that. It's not. He's got to be judged on whether he was reckless or not. What does reckless mean? Remember what we said about reckless. Reckless is you know of a risk. You know of a risk, and then you say, no, I consciously disregard it, which means I know that traffic is stopped. Traffic is at a standstill in front of me. And this is where we're going to ask you, this is why we picked you guys. This is why I'm glad you're on the jury, because we're going to ask you to use your common sense when you look at this evidence, because apply your common sense to this. What the state is saying in this charge, this is why he has to be not guilty, because they're saying that he knows that there's this risk, but he disregards it. So they're saying that he's driving, the state's just said in opening that he's approximately driving 90 miles an hour. He's driving too fast the right way down the highway. So if he's disregarded the risk that he knows is ahead, remember, they've got to prove, and you swore an oath a minute ago. The judge gave you the oath. You swore to follow the law and the evidence. This is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. If you follow that oath, you've got to swear to follow the oath, to look at the law, which is that Alex Castro was aware of a risk and he consciously disregarded it. It doesn't make any sense, because you're saying, this prosecutor's saying he's doing 90 miles an hour and he's driving into a brick wall, because that's what they're saying. That's what recklessness is in this case. He is driving 90 miles an hour, according to the prosecutor, into a brick wall. That can't be the case. It makes no sense, because that means that's suicide. That's tantamount to him trying to kill himself. Common sense says that. If you are driving at the speed Mr. Escobar says he is, and you're driving into parked traffic, you're trying to kill yourself.
Sustained.
You're trying to kill yourself.
Sustained.
And that defies common sense. You see, I'm right. That's why he's objecting.
All right. All right. Number one, the objection is sustained. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that's an improper argument. These are opening statements. Both parties are to inform you of what they expect the evidence to show you, and state your objection is sustained.
So I want you to think about why this happened. Why this happened, because there's only one person sitting in that chair today, and he's not the only one responsible for this. His actions are by definition not reckless. If anything, If anything, he ought to have known. He ought to have known. But to say that he knew and then he disregarded it means he's driving into a brick wall at 90 miles an hour. That makes no sense. Shana Lasso's the first domino. The police officers are the second, and their investigation, failing to warn, failing to do anything to protect Alexandra Siebert. And she's a good person. I never met her. I've seen a lot of evidence about her. She did nothing wrong. It's a tragic thing. And you're going to hear, and it's
Sustained.
Judge, it's opening statement. It is
All right. Oh, counsel. When I
Thank you,
make
Judge.
my ruling,
I'll
those are
move
my
on, Judge.
rulings. So
And the
the
evidence
objection is sustained.
Thank you, Judge. I'm sorry. The evidence that you're going to see, the evidence will show that this is heartbreaking. You're going to see things. You're going to see things. I want you to be prepared for that. You're going to see things that are going to break your heart. They are. It's going to hurt your heart when you see it. It is. People remember these dominoes. Go back to the law. The state is going to try and make you see these vehicles outside. The evidence is going to show, the state is going to show you these vehicles outside in the parking lot. It's just the truth. And it's going to be shocking. I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be shocking. It's going to hurt your heart. But please use your common sense. Please follow the law, because you know the first domino in this case is Shana Lassell. She's not here. She was driven home by the police after driving drunk the wrong way down the highway. The second domino in this case is the police failing to warn anyone. And the third one is the only one that they've got. He's sitting here, is Alex Castro, and he's not negligent. He's not reckless. If anything, he's negligent.
Sustained.
I'm going to ask you to find him not guilty. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to have you all step outside in the hallway. Just give me 2 minutes, okay? All right, everyone, please rise for the jurors.
This is where she's going to bollock the defense attorney now.
All right, everyone, please be seated. All right. So this is what I want to tell both sides. I understand sometimes passions run high and that everyone is trying to advocate their side. But this is what is not going to happen. And I want people to hear me and internalize what I'm saying. Number one, there are going to be legal objections. I'm going to hear the legal objection and I'm going to make my ruling. And once I make my ruling on the legal objection, there is not going to be a comeback at me that is a response that is not legal. So counsel, this whole thing where the state is objecting, saying it's argumentative, and I rule on it, the comeback answer is, no, it's not argumentative, Judge. It's like, everyone, keep your levels here, make your objections, I will rule on them. Once I rule on the objection, guess what? That's my ruling. Unless you have something new for me to hear, that's my ruling. And if you feel that my ruling is not correct, then that's what the Court of Appeals are for. That's what the Fourth Court is for, the 13th Supreme Court, wherever you want to take it. But I will tell you what I discovered in my experience trying both as a prosecutor and a defense attorney. The jurors just want to be here. They want to hear what the story is and hear what the facts is. But if there's this back and forth where people are tending to get into the point where it's disrespectful, then we're going to be in a different place and I'm going to respond differently. So in this court, I like everyone to treat everybody with kindness and respect, because that's the way you don't have tempers flaring. Because all the cases in felony court, these are very serious cases where potentially sometimes people are looking at prison. You have complainants' families who may be upset. I don't want their tempers to flare. You have the accused families who may feel like, you know, their family member, their loved one should not be here. So they have tempers as well. So I'm depending on attorneys. You're all professional. You should keep it here. Does everyone understand?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so the rule has been invoked. So state, if you can make sure that your witnesses know the rule has been invoked. So if there's anyone who's in the courtroom for the state or the defense who's planning on testifying, now is the time where you can no longer be in this courtroom. They've done their opening statements. Witnesses are going to be called. And if people who are planning on testifying view anything or in the courtroom or talk to people about testimony that they've heard, what's going to end up happening, if it's discovered, I will probably end up hearing motions from either the state or the defense asking that someone not be allowed to testify. Does everyone understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The other housekeeping matter, again, if people are putting things on easels, if people are taking papers to people, defense attorney, state attorney, if y'all need to move around to see it, you don't have to ask permission. You don't have to ask permission to approach a witness. But remember, when you approach the witness, after you have finished approaching the witness, which whatever you want them to see, please have a seat. All right. And Laura Metzel, did you have something for me to sign? All right, I'm going to take this up, then we're going to bring the jury back in. Yes.
Just one other matter that Barbara West is the mother of the victim, Alan. And she is in the courtroom. She's not a material witness, but she may be brought in for punishment purposes if we get the punishment phase. I'd ask for her to be excused from this rule.
Judge, can we approach it?
Oh, I mean, either you want her, let's go on the record. All right, state, you're asking who be excused from the rule?
Barbara West, she is the mother of the victim. She was not at the scene. She didn't arrive at the scene, nor does she have any knowledge of what happened at the scene as an eyewitness account. She is solely the mother of the victim in this case, and she may be brought in for punishment purposes and not the first phase of this trial, Your Honor.
All right.
Judge, I can't agree to that. We would like to invoke the rule. I can't tell the state how to try their case. They could use other people. So we're invoking the rule, please, Your Honor.
All right, your witness is allowed to say she's not testing in the first phase of the trial?
That's right.
All right, she's allowed to say.
Well, Your Honor, in that case, based on the court's ruling, can Mr. Castro's parents come in because they're only anticipated to be punishment witnesses if we get there, and I've just told them to leave.
All right, do you have any objections, state? All right, the state is saying that they have no objections to his parents being allowed in the room because they're only going to testify in punishment if we get there. Is that correct?
Correct, Judge.
All right, so do you still have an objection to the complainant's mother being present?
Well, the court's already ruled, Judge. I'm going off. Yes, I do, Judge, but I'm going on the court's ruling. I'm not waiving that objection, Judge.
No. Here's the thing. I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, I maintain my objection. I respect the court's ruling.
All right.
Don't get them to come in then, Judge.
All right, they can come in. All right.
This sounds like a really interesting trial so far. It's spicy, and what the defense are going that the woman that caused
And
the
state and
accident.
defense, we'll talk about the vehicles. I'm going to see where we end up in trial today, and then we'll talk about when specifically the vehicles should be here.
Okay.
All right. All right, let's bring the jurors in.
All right, for the jury.
Because it sounds like the defense are blaming the woman that caused the initial crash, and she's not been prosecuted. This is, I think it's gonna be good. Marcia, hello, my darling. Lou, I know. I know. I hope he gets a bit better. There you go, Steph. Hack. Let's go, Amy. I can't believe Bill slid in. Happy days.
All right, everyone, please be seated.
Thank you, Angelina.
State, you may call your first witness.
The state called Officer Jeremy Morgan.
Your Honor, may we approach very briefly?
Yes.
I think this attorney's going to piss Boyd off. This judge is going to piss her off. The Zach. I'm sorry, Zach. I love you, Zach.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. Please state your name for the record and spell it.
First name's Jeremy, Jeremy. Last name's Morgan, Morgan.
All right, and if you'll make sure that you keep your voice up so that members of the jury can hear
Yes, ma'am.
and the court reporter.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Officer Morgan, who do you currently work for?
I work for the San Antonio Police Department.
How long have you worked for the San Antonio?
I've been employed with them for over 5 years.
What type of training did you receive to become a San Antonio Police Department officer?
Went through 8 months of rigorous training from April of 2019 to November of 2019.
And what, during this training, what did you learn about in order to become a police officer? For subjects.
Learned various things ranging from tactics, penal code, traffic code, safety, how to de-escalate.
So what unit are you currently assigned to?
Currently assigned to North Patrol.
North Patrol, what area does that cover?
It covers as far south as Patricia and as far north, all the way to Comal County.
And what are your duties as a patrol officer?
My duties are to respond to calls for services and ensure the safety for the public.
And were you working on July 22nd, 2022?
Yes, sir.
Now, what shift were you working on that day?
I was working power shift.
What does that mean?
That shift rate starts at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and goes all the way to 3 o'clock in the morning the following day.
And on July 22nd, 2022, in the morning hours, did you have to respond to a call?
Yes, sir.
What call did you respond to?
Respond to a major accident at 281 TPC Parkway.
You're on man approach?
Yes.
Mr. Morgan, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 1. I want you to take a look and see, do you recognize this?
I do recognize it.
What is it?
That is a copy of my Coban video.
And is it a true and accurate depiction of the video that your Coban captured on that day?
Yes, sir.
Has it been altered or amended in any way?
No, sir.
Your Honor, state what offer states Exhibit 1 into evidence.
Yes.
So normally they do show the witness. So I don't know why. Maybe they not. Maybe they haven't put the. She's not noticed that the camera's not on or something. Either that or this witness is not supposed to be on camera. But I promise you, she normally does put. Hang on, let's see. The gaps. Oh, right. I promise you, the next witness is shown. You can see there, the next witness is shown. So there you go. Just this witness.
No.
All right, State's Exhibit number 1 is admitted without objection. Granted.
No, I meant defense. Defense, the London guy. Sorry to hear that, Crystal. That sucks.
Another one. Corner.
Right-hand side?
Right hand side. Sorry. Oh, this one. Officer Morgan, what are we seeing here?
See me driving northbound 281.
And roughly what area are we in?
We are in the Evans Stone Oak area.
And what area of the of San Antonio is this on?
This is on the far north side.
And is this in Bear County?
Yes, sir.
And so looking at the video, what are you approaching?
I'm approaching the exit ramp for Marshall Road.
And where was the accident you were responding to?
We were dispatched at 281 at TPC. Upon arriving on scene, we found that the crash was further north, right at the edge of the exit ramp for Marshall Road.
And what are we seeing up ahead on the highway in Coban?
Stop traffic.
How can you tell it's stop traffic?
Brake lights, vehicles are not moving.
And what do you do after you arrive at the scene?
I tried to make my way through, but knowing that I can't fit my patrol vehicle through there, even I split the cars, I decided to exit my vehicle and to assess what I had up ahead.
Approaching with what's marked as state exhibit number 2. You recognize this?
Yes, sir.
What is this?
It's a copy of my body camera.
Okay. And other than redactions for legal reasons, has it been altered in any way?
No, sir.
And again, it's a true copy of what happened that day.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, state what offer states exhibit number 2.
Yes. Any objection? Well, let me ask you this. Have you seen State's Exhibit number 2 in its entirety? All right. How long is this? No, with regards to his hearing, how long is the video? All right, step back. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something I need to take outside your presence. I'm gonna have you all come back. I'm gonna say 10:30, it may be sooner than 10:30. You've heard some evidence in this case. You're not allowed to start internally thinking about this case outside this courtroom. You are not allowed to view anything about this case. You are not allowed to do any investigation. You are not even allowed to talk to each other about what you've seen so far in this courtroom. So you're not allowed, do not think about this case unless you are in this courtroom and you're listening to what's being presented. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna have you all back at 10:30. Everyone, please rise for the jurors. Defense, you have objections to State's Exhibit number 2. Have you had a chance to view it?
No, I haven't, Your Honor.
All right, State, if you'll play it so that defense counsel can see the redacted version.
Yes, Judge.
And sir, if you would like to walk around, you're more than welcome to walk around. We're taking a short break for them to view the video. Just remember, you're under oath and the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone except for attorneys for the state and the defense. Do you understand? All right, you may step down. You're welcome. Step your door.
Baby Archie. Baby Archie makes everything better. I hope you're feeling better as well, Lou. After yesterday, you weren't feeling good, especially with some bad news and stuff. So I hope you're feeling better, Lou. They're just watching Exhibit 2. Oh, there you go. They fixed it. They fixed it. I don't think we hear anything here. Oh, we do.
Over there. Yeah, I ain't my brakes.
Brown, you're more than welcome.
Right, we do hear it, so I won't skip it. Press the like, press the like, press the like, please. Press the like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me if you liked and subscribe. Like and subscribe, everyone. Let's fucking go.
Over there. Yeah, I ain't my brakes and everybody talking. I couldn't talk about that. Oh, another garage. Alright, I got you. Let's come and check you out. So bear with me.
Your Honor, that's one portion. There's about 4 of them.
Oh, no, he has an objection to his client's statement. So wherever his client's statement is, please play it. And we'll see, defense, if you still have objections.
Judge.
So pause it for one moment. If you'll pause for one moment. So the first statement, defense, where the officer has made contact with, I'm making an assumption that it's your client. Do you have any objections to that first part?
Judge, I'm not sure. Could we play it again very briefly?
All right.
And what if you want something in your mess? What's up, man? I'm okay. What happened? Everybody stop. Yeah, we have another accident over there. Yeah, I ain't my brakes and everybody talking. I couldn't talk about that. Oh, there's another garage. Alright, I got EMS coming to check you out. So bear with me.
All right, pause.
No objection to that, Judge.
All right, so defense has no objection to that statement. If you can move on to the next statement that's made.
Okay. So, you the driver of this one? Yeah. You got the license on you? Yeah. Yes, I can hear you. Hold on. This one is correct. What happened? Everybody hit the brakes on some of the brakes and it just, I couldn't. I tried to, I hit the brakes. Okay. Who'd you hit? You hit him? No.
And then from there, Judge, that's that second portion.
All right, any objection to the second statement?
No objection, Judge. It's not his.
Right, yours. Oh, you're good. So it might be a good minute for you to be out here. We're waiting for our investigative unit to come out here, talk with you to see what happened. That's for you. So at the top, that's it's gonna be labeled the crashes right now. Case number right there for your insurance purposes. And this is all of units from our traffic investigation department. They'll come out here and ask you what happened. Do you recall what happened? Like this traffic came to a stop?
I just remember everything came to a stop and I hit the brakes. And I just kept on the brakes and I kept seeing brake lights and everything just.
Do you know when you hit? Like did you hit the 18 wheeler?
Thought I hit him, yeah.
No, you hit it down.
He said I hit him, but I don't know what I flipped on. I know I flipped.
You like rolled or like spun?
I know, I rolled. I mean, you can see the scratches all on the side.
Yeah, I can see the scratches. I guess if you just roll like that, try to figure out what you might. Hit on that.
I think the 18 wheeler hit him, and he stopped all of a sudden, and I just tried as hard as I could to hit the brakes.
Yeah. All the way to TPC, because that's the nearest exit. Because we can't have any more coming through here right now. Your truck stuck here for a little bit.
I'm just wondering if my wife's coming.
Yeah, if your wife wants to chill in the parking lot over there, yeah, it's like I said, it's gonna be a good minute. And we can always give you a courtesy right off the highway. You got any other questions?
I really just want to know what happened. All I know is everybody hit the brakes and I hit the brakes. Just didn't stop.
Yeah.
We were all going in traffic. We were all going. I had no more brake.
Well, I don't know. If it's a picture or not. I mean, I get told, I don't know how much experience there's gonna catch.
I pulled cover. I'm not worried about that. I'm just
trying to figure out what's going on. You and me both. So,
That's the third 14th camp broken up, Judge.
No objection to that, Judge.
All right.
But we have objection to everything after that, Your Honour. That's what the subject of the hearing we would like with the
All right,
officer.
continue with the video.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
My car? I'm not gonna say anything. As long as it's not exposed over to the public over there. Yeah, yeah, I got it. So if you just wanna, I go out right here. You just wanna go for it. The what? I know. Like I said, I can't stop other people from crashing their cars too. Earlier today. Yeah.
well,
Is it for work?
no, I feel like I'm one time. Well, all actually earlier. I'm gonna let them know about my feeling and my.
Okay. How long was that? Oh, wow, so kind of recent, then, like 2 months ago.
It wasn't really an accident, they tried to steal my bike.
Oh, from where?
That's all.
We were trying to steal it over there.
Yeah, with the ball. And there's like four people just like trying to just get off my body. But one guy grabbed my arm, and I was pushing it. So I just hit it. And not a wall, but like I hit a curb. And I just flipped over. Oh, okay. So I kind of saved myself, but you saved the bike at least? Yeah, bike's fine. That's good. I've spent a lot, man. Like, I was on my way to pick up my boy, and he's like, I need a ride. I'm like, I got you. I was sitting softball over there on the Blanco, Texas or Blanco Road? Oh, okay. I didn't know where he was at. I was like, where you at? And I was like trying to put it in my GPS. And that little Honda just like came into me and like flipped over me. What do you mean the Honda slid into you? I don't know. It came like into me. Like, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what she was doing. Or I didn't notice her actually. So, yeah, so the driver was over there. Yeah, the driver was just like erratic, and it just like came into me. And put me over, and I was like, which lane we do driving in, you know? I want to say I was in this lane. I was in the fast lane. You were in the right hand lane. And she was driving erratic. Which way was she driving erratic on? She was bouncing all over. Talk about get the median or what? Huh? Talk about hitting like the median or something? Like, I mean, I did. Like, I thought she pulled it over. And she came under me and I was on my side. There was nothing I could do. I was just like holding on. Which part under you are you talking about? Just like she came and put it on your right side or your left side? On the right side. But she came over and she on the right side. From looking at it, I guess I went over her and stopped right there. Yeah. So I caused you to roll over and no. Yeah. And so then you flipped for a good amount. I was sliding. Is he good? Yeah, big little bridge that goes good. Well, I spent right there. I did, man. Dude, this is horrible. The 18 was Mike, he's gonna take off. No, he's not taking off. He's just chilling. He can't take off with the vehicle yet. Because this is part of our crash. It's gotta stay, even with all the stuff he has in it. Because you know, yeah, his destination. Yeah. You'll go surprise her here with you. Hopefully, I'm ready to go. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is horrible. But yeah, if we get them to talk with y'all first and then send y'all on your way, because like I thought it's like I just give like a first statement. No, they don't do their interviews first, especially when it's on scene. It's fresh. Yeah, if you just want to stay with them. We're gonna call them, we're gonna type up the report. Y'all go with watching them again?
That's the final portion, Judge.
All right, defense, you have objections?
Yeah, object to that, Judge. That was Mr. Castro was asked to leave several times, said that his wife is there to pick him up. He doesn't mind providing a statement, but the officer keeps questioning him. Jackson versus Deno, our position is that's a coercive involuntary statement because he's not allowed to leave. In effect, he's under arrest at this point. He's asked to leave. He said his wife's here. The officer says he can't even go to the restroom at this point. Yet they still detained him. And this is 2 hours after the accident. So he's been on the scene for 2 hours. He's not allowed to leave. In effect, he's under arrest. He's been told he can't leave. Yet the officer keeps questioning him. And it's coercive and it's overborne as well. No statement should come in and we object to them, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Your Honor, here
Mr. Castro is never put in handcuffs. He's never put in the back of the squad car. He's allowed to be on his cell phone. He's allowed to stand on the side of the highway. He is allowed to use the restroom. The officer is walking with him because it is a highway. At no point is he ever actually arrested. He's allowed to leave. At the end of this night, Mr. Castro is never actually arrested. There are also two other drivers that were there at the scene that were involved in this car crash that are also asked to stay and are told to stay so that they can talk to traffic investigators. So he's not put under any more coercive pressure than the other two drivers. So we're asking that the court rule that his statements are voluntary at this point.
May I briefly respond, Your Honor?
Yes.
Well, we don't actually know that. I understand Mr. Escobar's point, but we don't know that, do we? Because we haven't seen any of the evidence to do with Mr. Stefanov or the
All right,
driver.
so let me just tell everybody, the only person I am focused on is whether or not the statement by Mr. Castro followed the proper rules and the proper law. That's it.
Thank you, Judge. In that case, it didn't, because it's irrelevant what happened to the other drivers. They're not an accused in a criminal case. Mr. Castro is. That's why he's not allowed to leave, because as we're going to see later on, they suspect him of, the officer makes comments on there about him hauling ass and stuff like that. Excuse my language. But he's a suspect. He's a target of this investigation already, and he's not allowed to leave. And the court knows, right? I don't need to tell the court that handcuffs isn't the only measure of whether someone's arrested. In Texas, someone doesn't have to be told they're under arrest. It's whether their freedom of movement would make is impeded in such a way that a reasonable person under their circumstances would believe that they are under arrest. At this point, he said, my wife's here, can I go? No, you can't. Can I use the bathroom? No. I've got a doctor's appointment in the morning because I had a motorcycle accident. No, you can't leave. Can't leave, you can't leave. He's under arrest, Judge. These statements can come in and we'll defer to the court. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Any other objections to this other than the statements?
Yes, Judge, it violates his 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights under U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 10 of the Texas Constitution, and it violates 3822, and therefore it's 3823 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, Judge. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Anything else? All right. And State, if you could do me a favor, if you could just play the part that he is saying that is on the video.
Yes, Judge. So we wanted to skip, I just want to be clear.
No, he's saying that there's a part in the video where Mr. Castro is asking to leave and he's being told that he cannot leave.
Judge, if it helps the court, the timestamp is 3:12:27, I think, on the Zulu time.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's not.
And Judge,
It might be. That's where it starts.
I have at least 14 years of gas.
All right.
I want to say I was in this lane. I was in the back lane. You were in the right hand lane. And she was driving erratic. Which way was she driving erratic on? Moving bouncing all over the place. Come on, get median or what? Talking about hitting like the median or something? Like, I mean, I did. Like, I thought she pulled it over. And she came under me and I was just on my side. I don't know, I didn't know, I'm like holding on. Which part under you are you talking about? That's like you came and put on your right side or the left side? On the right side. Or came over on the right side. I'm looking at it, I guess I just went over her and stopped right there. Yeah, so I caused you to roll over and yeah. And so then you flipped for a good amount. I was fine. Is he good? I think a little bit of good. Oh, I did it. You go home. I did, man. Home. The 18 was looking like he should take off. No, he's not taking off. He's been just chilling. He can't take off with the vehicle yet. Because this is part of our crash. Gotta stay, even with all the stuff we have in there. But the RV had his destination. Oh, you'll go surprise her here. Hopefully. Yeah. I mean, this whole thing. Yeah, it's why the kid at the top of y'all first, and then if they're going away, it's like, I thought it like, I just get like a break. No, they let you do their interviews, especially when it's on the scene. It's fresh. Yeah, you just wanna stay with them. We're gonna talk through them type of report. Y'all cool with watching them again?
All right, if you can go back, just back to the part. Where he says, talk to you first, then you can be on your way. Let me just rehear that, please.
Talk first, and then think. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing. It's for us. But, yeah, why don't we get them to talk with y'all first, and then say go on your way, cause like, I thought like, I just get like a brief statement. Just be on my way. No, they let you do their interviews, especially when it's on scene. It's fresh. Yeah, I just wanna stay with them. We're gonna type up the report. Y'all cool with watching them again?
All right, so is that the end of his statement?
Yes, Judge, in this video, but we have any other statements made by the defendant having to do because our body and our office.
All right, so with regards to this video, defense, your objections will be overruled.
Thank you, Judge. And if I may, just real quick, I just said to the state, there's another timestamp that I think we might have missed. And it's 3:25. It starts at 3:25:45. And that's another example of him not being free to leave before that one, but we didn't get to see that one, Judge. We're going to see it now, hopefully.
This is 3:25:45.
Yeah, it's just look after that when you can hear the officer talking.
Oh, I think it's muted.
But it's muted.
Defendant is not around.
It's not, but you can hear the officer there on the, if I can proffer it, Judge, the officer is saying, Officer Morgan is talking to other officers, asking where the defendant is because he wants to know where he is. And then he tells the other officer, I think that's Officer.
Oh, no, you can remain seated,
Thank you.
but
I think he's telling Officer Chavaria, who we can see in the screen if it's not muted. Where is he? He said he's getting picked up and tired of waiting. And Officer Morgan says, if we can hear it, I can't cut him loose. That is demonstrating his subjective intent to keep him there.
all
And if
right,
he's keeping him there, he's detained. And if he's detained, our argument is, Judge, that he's under arrest.
all right, objection is overruled. With regards to State's Exhibit number 2. All right, the jury's coming back in at 10:30. So if anyone wants to take a break, now's the time to take your break.
So in the main, just for people new coming in, I'll skip forward now. So you don't have to worry. Hang on, there we go. This is the witness coming back. I'll pause it for a second. So just if you're coming in, the defendant is accused of driving 91 miles per hour down a construction. It's on the motorway, on the however you call it in America, and he smashes into the back of a car. Allegedly, he does not hit his brakes. Allegedly, and he's been drinking a little bit 8 hours before the incident. Allegedly, the woman who caused the accident. So basically, what it was there was an accident on the motorway, and the lady driving the wrong way on the motorway crashed and caused an accident. She didn't, and she was intoxicated. She did not get charged, and she caused a delay in the backlog. This guy was just driving down and smashing the back of a car, killing that person. That's all we know, really. That's all we know, people. So I don't know more than that, and that's just come from openings. You know how we deal with openings. Take you with a pinch of salt. Yeah, I couldn't hear it, Grick, either. Gem, sorry, I couldn't hear it, Gem. Do you consider yours a South Walian? Please forgive me. Southwest, yes. Southwest. No worries, Lady E. You're more than welcome. I'm liking this trial as well. I don't like that bit where it's just like, but now we're getting back into it. Let's get in the juicy bit here. Jonathan, I seemed London because of how posh he sounds like Zach. Yes, me too, Amy. Says the hippie chick. A friend of mine when Cornwall said that. Posh accents reminded him of a horse talking. Oh, Jonathan, this is how much I missed you, my friend. Right, here we go, everyone. I could go forward a little bit more because they're all sitting on the floor. They're not there yet.
Because his will.
And any other objections you want
Hang on.
record
Where is it?
and state.
Right, here we go, people. Also, Jonathan, Lou Barber is from Cornwall as well. Lou.
Y'all can be seated. She'll make the announcement at the door when the jury is here.
That is impressive. You're right, it is impressive.
And state, if you'll just, I believe where you left off, you were offering state's exhibit number 2?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And
And any other objections you want me to hear before the jury comes in?
Yeah, Judge. I mean, I was going to say that we maintain or
We are on the record.
Where is it? What, you got the checks we did and stuff?
All right, defense.
Judge, yes, the objection to the video is the same.
And it states exhibit number 2?
Is it's 2, Judge? States
Yes.
exhibit 2, which is, I believe, Officer Morgan's body camera. And they are to statements after 3:12. And it's the Zulu stamp at the top. It's not on the screen right now. It's 3:12, I believe it is. Our objections to any statement after that made by the defendant where he is not free to leave. He's expressed his desire to leave. His wife is there. He's asked if he can be excused and he'll give a statement. But the officer manifests his intent to keep him there. He's detained. He is not allowed to leave. He doesn't know he's not under arrest, but the effect of it, of the totality of the circumstances, is that his freedom of movement has been restricted in such a way that a normal person would believe that they are under arrest because he's not free to go and see his wife. He's not free to go to the bathroom. He's being kept there. So his the situation is the same as custodial arrest, and any statements he has made are because his will has been overborne by hours, not minutes, hours, 2, maybe 3 hours of questioning. And therefore we object to any of those statements that he makes after timestamp 3:12, I think it is, Judge. And the fifth.
All right, just one
14th
moment.
Amendment.
State, are there any statements made by him after that with regards to this witness?
After the final statement that the state played for the hearing, there are no more statements, anything else is needed.
All right, the objection will be overruled. Let's bring the jurors in.
And Judge, just to that, I know, I'm sorry, and to any evidence after that, any statements by the defendant and any evidence derived from statements from him after that point, Judge.
So with regards to your objection, state has informed the court, and I watched state's exhibit number 2 with both state and defense, that with regards to this officer and this officer's body cam, there are no further statements through this officer after there is what appears to be a statement made by the accused about leaving. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Your objection is overruled. Let's bring in the jurors.
All right, for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. And I believe where we left off, state you were offering into evidence, states exhibit number 2.
Yes, no, the state officer is number 2.
And defense, your objections have been noted for the record.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, those objections will be overruled. States exhibit number 2 is admitted. Granted.
Well, I'm stopping your body cam at 156.11 in the top right corner. What are we seeing you do here?
I'm walking up to the.
Right, hang on. Let me try and boost the volume for you all. I can boost it. So bear with me 2 seconds whilst I do this. Hang on. Right, here we go. Yeah, hey, what's all this? You're all simping over this guy and his accent. What about me? All the love is gone from me now. Everyone's like, fuck Dylan and his accent. We much prefer Zach and his accent. Oh, Lisa. Thank you, though, Lisa. Here you go, everyone. This should be much better for you guys.
I'm walking up to the what I presume would be the crash further north, but I couldn't make it with my patrol car.
And why couldn't you make it with your patrol car?
My patrol car couldn't fit through the sea of vehicles.
Just as we're watching the state's exhibit number 2, how many vehicles are out there on the highway?
I would say several dozen.
Now, fast forwarding all the way up to 156.29, what are we seeing at this, or 158.32, sorry about that. What are we seeing at this point?
The original crash I was dispatched to.
And what was the cause of the original crash?
Wrong way driver.
And who is the main handling officer on this crash?
I was the original handling officer.
Were you the only officer that showed up at the scene?
No, sir.
Who else showed up?
Officer Rodriguez and Officer Lechuga.
But you were the primary.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to the jury, what does it mean when you're the primary?
When you're the primary officer, you're the one handling the report, taking statements, investigating what's happening.
Fast forwarding through state's exhibit number 2, did you speak to any of the witnesses that were involved in the crash, in that first car crash?
No witness.
Overrule, you can answer yes or no, but do not state what anyone told you.
No,
So you didn't talk to anyone that was involved in the first crash, or you did?
I did.
Now, fast forwarding through state's exhibit number 2, up until roughly June 1737. Now, at this point, you've been at this first car crash for about 10 to 15 minutes, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And at this point, now that you're back at your patrol car, what are you doing?
Making sure everyone has valid insurance and license.
So you're partway through your investigation.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever get an opportunity to finish your investigation?
No, sir.
What made you pause the investigation into the first crash?
I saw Officer Rodriguez and Officer Lechuga running towards my vehicle.
And when they got towards your vehicle, did they notify you of anything?
Yes.
And what were you notified of?
That they presumed I was involved in a crash, but they also heard a crash further south.
So they heard a crash further south. What did you do upon hearing that?
Went to go figure out what happened further south.
Now, fast forwarding, and this is to 2:23:30. What are we seeing here?
Talking with my cover officers about what happened.
And what are they informing you of?
That there was a crash that flipped. Oh, there was a vehicle that flipped.
And how far away from your patrol vehicle was this crash? I'm fast forwarding. Was it a close distance? Was it far?
It was pretty far from where the original crash was and where we were.
Is it 240 or 224:46? What are you doing?
Walking over to where they heard they had the crash.
At this point, at about 2:25:37, what are you beginning to do?
Starting to jog
And why is that?
because I saw a vehicle crashed out on the right shoulder.
And why is your camera shaking around a lot right now?
Because I'm jogging over to the vehicle.
And is the body worn camera, whenever you wear it, is it steady?
No, never.
And what can sometimes happen?
Taking shape.
And you proceeded about 2:26:14. Where's the body cam now?
It's in my hand.
And who are you talking to at 2:26:19?
I'm talking to Mr. Stefanov.
And who's Mr. Stefanov?
He was the driver of the Volkswagen, the first vehicle I saw.
And how many vehicles did you at first think were involved in this second crash?
I only presume that there was 3 vehicles involved.
What type of vehicles?
One was a Volkswagen, which Mr. Stefanov was driving. Then I saw an 18 big rig, and then I saw a Chevy Silverado.
So you first talked to Mr. Stefanov.
Yes, sir.
And where was Mr. Stefanov's car in relation to that 18 wheeler?
It was about 2. It's 1 o'clock.
Was it ahead of the 18 wheeler?
Yes.
And right here in 2:26:33, where are you going now?
I'm running over to the Chevy Silverado.
And what's up in your mess? What's up, man? I'm okay. What happened? I know everybody's yeah, because we have another accident over there. Yeah, I hit my brakes and everybody thought this. I couldn't fucking talk about. Oh, there's another car. I got you.
I'm stopping at about 2:27:14. Who are you talking to at 2:27:14?
Mr. Alexander Castro.
And do you see Mr. Castro here in the courtroom?
Yes, sir.
Can you point out to him and describe him by an article of clothing that he's wearing?
He's wearing the blue suit and gray pants.
I'll let the record reflect that the officer has identified the defendant. Where was Mr. Castro whenever you first encountered him?
He was in the driver's seat of the Chevy Silverado.
And did you ask him what happened?
Yes, sir.
And what did he say?
He said everyone's braking, tried to brake, couldn't brake.
And while you were talking to Mr. Castro, did you notice anything?
That he was involved in a very serious crash.
Did you notice any other cars?
Yes.
Well, where did you notice another car?
Further south of where his truck was, about it's 5 o'clock.
So further south. So it was further south on 281.
Yes, sir.
And so you were already responding to the first accident that's in Barrett County, but now we're going more south to where we're definitely in Barrett.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Al. But bear with me.
Now, 2:27:20, what are you doing?
Running over to the Honda Accord because I didn't see a driver exit the vehicle.
Now, Honda video 2:27:55. How many people were in the Honda Accord when you approached?
Only one person.
What was the name of that individual? Did you ever gather that info?
Initially, no, but it was relayed as Miss Alexandria Sabert.
And what was Miss Sabert's condition?
She had a massive laceration on her forehead from what we could initially see.
Was she conscious?
She was not conscious.
While you were with her, did she ever regain consciousness?
Never.
Your Honor, may we approach very briefly?
Yes.
We'll hear more once the defense puts their case on. We know that. So we'll see now in a bit, Jem. Thank you, Angelina. Your channel is the best because of your brilliance. And I don't think so. Excellent content and that wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I said no. Sean has got it. I think you're both too kind. Whilst the others are simping over the Zach lookalike, you girls are too kind.
Aren't you make proceed?
I put subscribe. Hang on, I can take it off.
I'm pausing the video at 2:28:21. What are you trying to do here?
Trying to make contact with her, trying to talk to her.
And what's your concern at this time?
Making sure she's stable.
And were there other officers there with you while you were with Ms. Saber?
Yes, sir.
Who else was with you?
Officer Rodriguez.
Did any other officers show up while you were there?
Later on, when I requested more, yes.
Fast forwarding. At 2:29:40. What are you doing here, sir?
Trying to alert other drivers that there's a major crash that just happened. Trying to get them to slow down.
And were all the other drivers slowing down?
Yes.
Fast forward to 2:30:37. At this point, Officer Morgan, what are you trying to do?
Still trying to make contact with Miss Saber.
What does Officer Rodriguez do?
We're cutting the seatbelt.
Why are you cutting the seatbelt?
I believe that she may have been choking on her own blood based on the position she was in. So we wanted to put her in a recovery position,
What did you decide to do?
extract her from the vehicle.
Was that the right decision?
No.
Why?
Based on my training, I should have just kept her there, wait for EMS.
Well, what was your concern?
My concern was making sure she wasn't choking on her own blood.
Fast forward to 2:31:50. What are you doing at 2:32:35?
Making sure she's in the recovery position,
What's the recovery position?
leg over leg, making sure her head's stable.
And why would you put someone in the recovery position?
This way the blood does not go down their throat, can come out their mouth.
And did you stay with Ms. Seibert?
For brief moments.
I'm fast forwarding right now. Uh, 2:36:0. And I'm pausing at 2:36:04. Who did you meet with, Ms. Seibert?
I left Miss Cyber with Officer Chavadia and Officer Rodriguez.
And what was your concern?
Went to go make contact with the other drivers involved.
Was EMS already on the way?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, here's the problem. You got another one? Yeah. You got the license on you? Yeah. Yes, I can't hear any, hold on. What's on you is correct? Everything was correct. What happened? We hit brakes on some of the brakes. I couldn't. I tried to, I hit the brakes. Okay. Who'd you hit? You hit him? Nope.
Pausing at 2:37:10. So did you get another opportunity to talk to Mr. Castro?
Yes, sir.
And what did he tell you the second time that you spoke?
He said everyone hit the brakes. I hit the brakes.
And after that point, what did you begin to do?
Went over to Mr. Stefanov's vehicle after speaking with Mr. Martinez.
And Mr. Martinez, who was he? What vehicle was he driving?
He was driving the big rig for HEB.
And at 2:37:23, is that the big rig we see on screen?
Yes, sir.
Fast forward now. Did EMS ever arrive?
Yes, sir.
Now we're seeing that here at 2:38:56.
Yes, sir.
So a few minutes after you encountered this cyber, EMS is here.
Yes, sir.
And are you aware, where did they take her?
Samsey, I believe.
In 2014, what are we seeing?
Me speaking with Mr. Stefanov, trying to get his driver's license.
Speaking with all these other drivers, without saying what they told you, are you getting information on how the crash occurred?
Yes, sir.
We see at 2:40:46, we can kind of tell that Mr. Stefanov's vehicle is ahead of that HEB 18-wheeler. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And where is Mr. Castro's vehicle in relation to that HEB 18-wheeler?
Right behind it, but behind the trailer.
And then the Cybert's vehicle, that's further south down 281.
Yes, sir.
I fast forwarded to 2:42:33. At this point, what are you doing?
Speaking with my cover officers, handing the original crash over to one of them, or asking them if they can handle that while I handle the fatality.
And what do we notice here? What's missing here that was there when you were further north on 281? What was there?
Traffic.
Where's the traffic now?
It's been moved.
Again. This time we got 2:44:29. Where are you now?
Inside my patrol vehicle,
And what are you doing?
contacting TID.
TID. Explain to the jury, what is that?
TID is abbreviation for Traffic Investigations Detail,
And what is TID's job?
to investigate severe crashes involving serious bodily injury and or death.
And why do you get to call them when there's cases involving serious bodily injury or death?
Because they're the specialists
What do they specialize in?
investigating how crashes occur.
And so are you able to speak to a TID detective?
Yes.
Who do you speak to?
Back then it was Detective Martinez. Now she's Sergeant Martinez.
And what are you doing when you're talking to Detective Martinez, now Sergeant Martinez?
Telling her what the other drivers have said and in regards to how the crash happened.
And does Sergeant Martinez ever give you any orders as to what to do next?
Object
Yes.
to hearsay, Judge.
All right, that'll be overruled. You can't say what was said. Just remember to answer the questions that's asked of you. So the answer to that question is either yes or no.
Yes.
Could you repeat your question, please?
Did Sergeant Martinez ever give you any orders?
Yes.
Did you follow those orders?
No.
What did you not do?
I forgot to call them back for an update on Miss Seibert's condition.
So after your conversation with TID, what do you think is going to happen next?
I'm under the presumption that they would be making our scene after they finished what crash scene they were on.
How long did it take TID to make that scene?
Roughly 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Did you ever follow up with TID during that time?
Not until after they asked me to call them.
While you were waiting for TID, or what you thought, and you thought TID was on their way, what were you doing?
Repositioning my patrol vehicle.
Fast forwarding. Two 55. What are you doing at this point?
Making my way to the crash scene.
Now, where was your patrol vehicle originally?
It was on the exit ramp for Marshall Road.
Where are you now positioning your vehicle?
South of the original crash scene. I'm sorry, the secondary crash.
Okay. We considered number one. What are we seeing in State's Exhibit number one? And this is at about 2:54:51.
An open exit ramp.
And what are you doing?
Driving to go take the turnaround at Marshall Road to go south.
Oh, at 2:55:15, what was the thing that we saw on that exit ramp? What did we see?
A tow truck towing a vehicle.
Was that one of the vehicles that was involved in the first car crash?
Yes.
Transport States Exhibit number one. What are we seeing on that fast forward?
Be driving south on the access road of 281.
What road are you turning on at 259-53?
That was the access road for North Loop 604 East. No, it looks like I'm about to take the entrance ramp before Redland Road.
At about 3:135, what are we seeing here?
I was shutting down the highway.
Why did they shut down the highway?
It's procedure whenever when TID is making scene.
And what exit are you passing here at 3:01:59?
I'm passing up the TPC exit.
On the side of the road, are you noticing anything as you're driving towards where that second car crash happened?
There's no traffic on the access road.
Do you notice any signs?
Yes.
What are those signs for?
Construction.
So they're a warning.
Yes.
And up at the horizon at 3:2:31, what are we seeing up ahead?
The second crash.
Could you see that where that second crash happened from a distance?
Yes, sir.
Now up ahead, what is that?
It's the second crash that occurred.
Now that 3:03:03. After you repositioned your vehicle, what did you begin to do? And again, we're the state's playing state's exhibit number 2 at 3:4:10.
Now I'm entering my patrol vehicle to write case cards for all parties involved.
What's the case card?
Case card is basically whenever there's an official TxDOT crash report or any kind of report that SAPD is going to be investigating.
So you have to give it to all the involved drivers?
Yes, sir.
Fast forwarding. You see exhibit number 2. I'm stopping at about 3:09:40. What are we seeing as you're walking around it during state exhibit number 2?
The totality of the crash.
It's a manslaughter case, Denny Dawn, in Texas, and it's started today. We're behind, but it started today, yes. The judge normally does other stuff as well at the same time. That's why we're pausing for a second. Well, the defense attorney is from London, so you're in for a shock, Ghost. Casper Ghost.
3:10:20. Who are you approaching?
Mr. Castro.
Oh, you're good. So it might be a good minute for you to be out here. We're waiting for our investigative unit to come out here, talk with you to see what happened. That's for you. So at the top, it's going to be labeled as crashes right now. Case number's right there for your insurance purposes. It's got all of you that's coming out of the traffic investigation department. He'll come out here and ask you what happened. Do you recall what happened? Like, just traffic came to a stop?
I just remember everything came to a stop and I hit the brakes. And I just kept on the brakes and I kept seeing brake lights and everything just.
Do you know when you hit? Like, did you hit the 18 when you
Thought I hit him. Yeah.
No, you didn't know.
He said I hit him, but I don't know what I flipped on. I know I flipped.
You like rolled or like spun?
I know I rolled. I mean, you can see the scratches all on the side.
Yeah, I can see the scratches. I guess if you just roll like that, try to figure out what you might. You know,
I think the 18 would have hit him, and he stopped all of a sudden, and I just stopped, like, just tried as hard as I could to hit the brake.
Yeah. All the way to TPC, because that's the nearest exit. Because we can't have anyone coming through here right now. Your truck's stuck here for a little bit.
I'm just wondering if my wife.
Yeah, your wife wants to chill in the parking lot over there. That's the best idea. Because like I said, it's gonna be a good minute. And we can always give you a courtesy right off the highway. You got any other questions?
Really just want to know what happened. All I know is everybody hit the brakes, and I hit the brakes, and I just couldn't stop.
Yeah. They're all going with traffic, they're all going.
I had no more brake.
Well, I don't know. Or not, I mean, like it's total, I don't know how much experience it's gonna catch you.
So I have full coverage. Not worried about that. I'm just
Trying to figure out what's going on. You and me both. So,
I'm stopping the video at 3:13:25. Can you talk to Mr. Castro again? Can you give any more details as about what happened?
Yes.
What details did he give?
Said everyone's hitting the brakes. I hit the brakes. Couldn't stop.
Did he know what he hit?
He believed he hit the 18-wheeler.
Did he ever describe how traffic was flowing?
He said it was flowing as normal.
Now, after 3:13:26, I'm gonna start fast forwarding. What do you begin to do?
Go and talk with Mrs. Stepanov.
I'm stopping the video at 3:14:37. What are you doing with Mr. Stepanov?
Trying to assess what injuries he has and let him know that EMS is on the way.
And do you talk again about what he may have seen?
Yes.
Fast forwarding. About 3:17:10. What are we seeing here?
Mrs. Stepanov's Volkswagen.
Forwarding again. About 3:18:51. What are we seeing you do here?
I'm talking to Mr. Martinez, gathering his information.
And are you also trying to ask what happened?
Yes, sir.
Fast forward again. Uh, 3:25:45. What are you beginning to do here?
I was trying to figure out where Mr. Castro went.
Was he in the same spot that he was in earlier?
No, sir.
Or where had he gone?
He had walked further south towards where my cover officers were shutting down traffic.
And did he stay with your cover officers?
Begrudgingly, yes.
Why do you say begrudgingly?
Because from what Officer Travaglio was saying, he was trying to be assertive and trying to leave.
Fast forwarding. About 32914. What are you doing here?
Assessing the damage to Miss Sabert's vehicle.
Officer Morgan, are you trained in any sort of accident reconstruction?
No. Just a bare minimum.
So you can't figure out how this happened.
No, sir.
Who would be able to figure that out?
CID.
Fast forwarding again. I'm getting out. 421. While fast forwarding, what are you doing?
Typing up reports, catching up
Catching up with what?
on prior reports and adding information to this case.
Three or 4 minutes or 4 hours flat. What are you doing again?
Assessing the damage of the crash.
Uh, 421. 28.
On a fatality over me. No. That's
Sorry,
what
it's
I'm
starting
doing.
at 4:15.
They'll finish it up on a fatality over on downtown.
So what did we hear you do there?
Inform Mr. Castro that CID is still working on another crash.
Hi, Michael.
419.
Hi, Michael.
Mr. Castro said that he needed to use the restroom, so I'm escorting him over further south so he can take care of business.
And why can't you escort him further south?
This way, it wouldn't contaminate the crash scene.
I'm not gonna say anything. As long as it's not exposed over to the public over there. Oh, no. Yeah, yeah, I got it. But if you just wanna, I go out right here, you just wanna go for it. So what? I know. Like I said, I can't stop other people from crashing their car too. Earlier today. Yeah. Well, was it for work? No, yeah, I got the motorcycle. That's actually really, really. They're gonna let me know if I'm feeling or if I'm. Okay. How long was that? Oh, wow, so kind of recent, like 3 months ago. Right? What was it really an accident? They tried to steal my money. Oh, well, where? There. Yeah, it's a ball. And there's like 4 people like trying to get off my body. One guy grabbed my arm and that was my punch hand. So I just hit it. I hit it. Not a wall, but I hit a curb. I flipped over it. Oh, okay. So I kind of saved myself, but did you say the bike at least? Yeah, the bike's fine. That's good. I still do a lot, man. Lately. That it is. Like I was on my way to pick up my boy, and he's like, I need a ride. I'm like, I got you.
I was hitting golf balls. Okay. Blanco, Texas or Blanco Road? Oh, okay. I didn't know where he was at, and I was like, where you at? And I was like trying to put it in my GPS. And the little Honda just like came into me and like slid over me. What do you mean the Honda slid into you? I don't know. She was like into me. Like, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what she was doing, or I didn't know it was her actually. So, yeah. So the driver was over there. Yeah. The driver was just like erratic, and it just like hit me and put me over. And I was like, "We're trying to do driving, you know." One day I was in this lane. I was in the fast lane. You were in the right hand lane, and she was driving erratic. Which way was she driving erratic on? It was bouncing all over the place. Talk about against a median or what? Huh? Talk about hitting like a median or something? Or, I mean, I did. I thought she was pulling over. And she came under me, and I was just on my side. There was nothing I could do. I was just like pulling on. Which part under you are you talking about? Just like she just came and put on your right side or your left side? On the right side. So she came over and she on the right side. I'm looking at it, I guess I just went over her and stopped right there. Yeah. So I called you to roll over and yeah. And so then you flipped for a good amount. I was sliding. Is he good? I was, yeah, I'll take a little break there because he's good. I like it. I did, man. This is horrible. I ate too much, but the price was going to go up. No, he's not going to go. He's just chilling. He can't take off with the vehicle yet. So this is part of our crash. Gotta say, even with all the stuff he has in it. Because he'd already be at his destination. You'll go surprise her here too. Hopefully, I'm ready for it. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is horrible. Yeah, why don't you get them to talk with y'all first and then send y'all on your way? Like, I thought like I just give up a person statements. You know how it is. No, they let you do their interviews for the person, especially when it's on scene. It's fresh, right? Yeah, you just want to stay with them. I'm gonna call them the type of the report. Y'all cool with watching them again?
I'm pausing at 4:24:43. What new details did Mr. Castro just tell you?
Mr. Castro said that he was golfing and then he received a text from his boy saying, I need a ride. So he said he was messing with GPS and he saw the Honda driving erratic.
And what did he say that the Honda did to him?
He said that the Honda went under him.
That the Honda struck him?
Yes, sir.
But he also said that the Honda had been pulling over?
Yes, sir.
Now, at this point, it's been about 2 hours since the crash, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Has CID made their way out there?
No, sir.
That's what you were still waiting for, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, were you ever informed that CID was on their way? Now, fast forwarding right now.
After Detective Martinez wanted to speak with me on the phone, I relayed the information on her on Miss Seibert's condition at the hospital. So they started making their way over to our location.
Fast forward. Several minutes. At one point, were you notified that CID was on their way?
After I was done with my phone conversation in the patrol vehicle.
Fast forwarding. until 6:11:33. Who are you approaching at 6:11:33?
Sergeant Martinez and Mr. Castro.
Officer Morgan, with the driver that was involved in that first crash, did you ever investigate whether they were intoxicated?
No. Initially, I tried to go back, but I didn't have a chance to go to.
Were you disciplined due to the fact that you didn't investigate whether she was intoxicated?
Yes, sir.
What was your discipline?
Good check to relevance, Judge.
Overruled. You can answer the question.
Yes, Your Honor. It was a 10-day suspension.
Did anyone ever investigate whether she was intoxicated?
No, not to my knowledge.
Was there another issue that came up due to that first car crash?
In regards to discipline, yes, sir.
Why were you disciplined?
2 allegations. One was attentiveness to duties, and the other one was for crash investigations.
Why are you disciplined because of crash investigations?
I had failed to inform TID of a crash involving a wrong-way driver, regardless of the injuries.
In regards to this incident, sir, were you disciplined in regards to that second crash involving Mr. Castro?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we approach on it?
Yes.
Hello. At this point where police have to prove. Oh yeah, no, they have to. Yeah, some of them were have been disciplined. Some of them have been disciplined, definitely, for their part in this. So I don't believe anything yet. Wait for the defense. That's because he's prepped at the minute. Once the defense come up, he's not prepped. What time is Dylan on RTS? I'm not on RTS today, Sally. Sean's on Resistant to Silent today. Sean El Jefe is El Jefe on, Sally, not myself. But yeah, no, it's not me. Dana and Tracy have got Sean El Jefe on at 6:30 Eastern, which is 11:30 UK time. So you go. Oh no! Oh no! This cop's has got to get fired. He's been disciplined, Gina. I'm pretty sure he's been disciplined. So he's not fired, but he's been disciplined. I'm not sure if he's suspended or what, but he's been disciplined in some sort of way. If he called the team the first crash, they'd have shut the highway. Wow. I hear that, Grick. He fucked up so hard. Yeah, this is why he got disciplined, probably. And he pulled her out. He did everything that he shouldn't have done. He did. He knows he fucked up. Like he knows he messed up. So. Oh, sorry, Amanda. I didn't hear that. Then 10-day suspension. Is that all? Jeepers. That's true, Steph. That's true. They kept him on so he could testify. But he's been through disciplinary. That's the only thing I would say. He's been through disciplinary. Normally, they would delay it, if you know what I mean, until afterwards. So I'm not sure. He could be reprimanded again. We'll see. Bev's crying now. This officer looks like my stepson, but sad eyes. But he looks like Vladimir Putin. So does his stepson look like him? A younger version, slimmer version. It's all good, Sally. It's all good. Lovely profile picture as well, Sally. Nice to see you. To see you nice. I hope Rolo's doing well as well, Sally. Disciplined for 3 different things in this event. Oh, look at you, sleuths. Happy days, Amy. Thank you.
All right, State, you may proceed.
Officer Morgan, did you ever detect any signs of intoxication from Mr. Castro?
No, sir.
Did you ever investigate into whether he could be intoxicated?
No, sir.
And was that one of the reasons why you were disciplined due to this secondary car accident?
Yes, sir.
What was the other reason why you were disciplined?
Alertness while working.
What does that mean?
Basically, I didn't have a sound and coherent mind while I was investigating
Specifically, why did they allege that?
because I failed to contact TID after calling them initially.
Now, you're standing by while Detective Martinez was talking to Mr. Castro. Did he ever admit anything while you were standing by?
I'm going to object to hearsay. Gotcha.
All right, what Mr. Castro said?
Well, because it's coming, the answer to the question comes from a question and an answer that comes from a different officer, and that's where that
All
answer.
right, if you repeat your question.
Did Mr. Castro ever admit to anything while you were there?
Yes, sir.
What did he admit to?
He admitted to drinking beers.
Had you asked him anything about alcohol consumption leading up to that point?
No, sir.
Is that why you were disciplined?
Yes, sir.
Ask the witness.
Defense, your cross.
Good afternoon, or good morning, officer.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
Doing okay, sir.
Good. My name's Gary Hillier. I don't think we've met before. Is that right?
I'm sorry?
We haven't met before.
No, sir.
My name's Gary Hillier. I am one of the attorneys who represent Mr. Castro, and I have a few questions for you.
Yes, sir.
And I take it I have your permission to ask you questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I want to say before I start, there's no trick questions. If you don't understand something I'm saying, you want me to slow down, just let me know, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, officer, you say that you've got, I think it's about approximately 5 years experience with the department now, is that right?
Yes, sir. With employment.
With
Yes, sir. I've been employed with the city for over 5 years, but on the streets it's a little less.
Okay, but you've been employed by San Antonio Police Department for 5 years.
Yes, sir.
And did you have any prior law enforcement experience before that?
No, sir.
So it would be fair to say that I guess it's 2024 now. You're in the academy at around 2019.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And at the academy, I think you spoke earlier to the prosecutor about your training. You're trained on various things at the academy, right?
Yes, sir.
One of those is report writing.
Yes, sir.
And you taught stuff about the penal code.
Yes, sir.
Right. You're taught about to investigate scenes of crimes.
Yes,
To a
sir.
certain extent, initially, right, as a patrol officer.
Get the groundwork going. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and in this case, we're talking about investigating a crash.
Yes, sir.
Right, because you know how to investigate. Get the groundwork going on an accident scene, right?
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree that all facts are important.
Yes, sir.
And I guess you'd agree with me that your report writing and the accuracy of your reports are important.
They are important, but usually my reports are summaries.
Yeah, there are summaries, right? I agree, because you can't write everything verbatim because it would be hundreds of pages long.
Yes, sir.
But it's important to put things in your report that matter to the investigation.
Yes, sir.
Because you rely on your reports.
I'm sorry?
You rely on your report, the accuracy of it.
Yes, sir.
Your supervisors rely on your reports.
Yes, sir.
And in this case, I guess, we've spoken, the prosecutor spoke to you about it. Internal investigations, disciplinary people rely on your reports.
Yes, sir.
And today, this jury's relying on the accuracy of your reports, right?
Yes, sir. And body camera.
Yeah, because have you reviewed a copy of your report before today?
Yes, sir.
Have you got a copy in front of you now?
I do not, sir.
You don't. And you'd agree with me that it's important to write the totality of everything in your report.
I usually cover the basics, the important stuff. Yes, sir.
So you put it's important. You think in the interest, is it important for your reports to be fair?
Yes, sir.
It is, right? Because that encompasses that totality. So what I mean by fair is you put evidence of innocence in there as well as guilt. Do you do that?
Yes, sir. I put everyone's statements in said reports.
But other evidence that you collect and observe, do you put that in there?
Yes, sir.
Because it's important in a case like this that you don't miss anything.
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree with me, there are policies and procedures on and your training that governs how you deal with scenes like this.
Yes, sir.
Right. And they come from the San Antonio Police Department manual.
Yes, sir. Our general manual.
The general manual. So the general manual is a public document, right?
Yes, sir.
And so I can access it. Anyone can access it on the internet.
Yes, sir.
And there is a document or a general policy that discusses how to investigate a crash scene, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm not talking about how TID do it, traffic investigations. I'm talking about for a patrol person, right?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember what the specific number is?
I couldn't give you the specific rules and the general manual number, sir.
If I were to tell you it's 707, do you have reasons to doubt me? Can I approach very briefly?
Yes.
It sounds familiar, sir.
I'm going to show you.
And counsel, did you show the document for the state?
I will be judging in a market. Approach that.
Yes.
So I'm going to pass you the marks to defense one. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Why do you recognize it?
It's part of our general manual.
Have you seen it before?
Yes, sir.
And in fact, did you get trained on this policy in the academy?
Briefly, yes, sir.
Briefly, but you recognize it. And would you kindly leaf through it for me, please? See how many pages there are.
Five, sir.
Five, and is it substantially the same as it was when you were trained on it, to your recollection?
When I was trained on it, it looks like it was updated recently.
But that was the one that you were trained on, right?
2023, no, sir.
But that's the one in sorry, that is the one that is in, or that's the public document that is in force that controls now, right?
Yes, sir. It's been amended since I've been trained on it.
Okay. And it's not been altered in any way, to the best of your knowledge?
To the best of my knowledge, no, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to leave a copy of that for you right there. Because, I mean, you've been a patrol officer for how long? 5 years?
A little over 4, sir.
A little over 4. Sorry, you've been on the department for 5, patrol for 4.
Yes, sir, since 2019 of November.
Because what I want to talk about is your experience on the streets, right? Because I think that one of the things you said that you get called to scenes, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Generally. And so you'd agree that one of your responsibilities, not just talking about that document there when you go to a scene, is to gather evidence.
Yes, sir.
And one of those, what that means is you've got to identify witnesses.
Yes, sir.
And usually procedure says that you kind of, once everyone's kept safe, keeping people safe is the first priority, right?
Yes, sir. Make sure there's no other dangers to anyone else.
Yeah, and in a normal scene, if you go into a domestic violence scene, I guess that would be different to this, but you separate the parties and keep them safe.
As best as we can with what we have.
Best as you can with what you have, exactly, because you're only human, right?
Yes, sir.
And we all make mistakes from time to time.
Yes, sir.
And like you've been very honest with the jury, you've made mistakes in this case, right?
Yes, sir.
And we appreciate your candor, officer, we do. But everything you do and you're trained to do is for a reason, right?
Yes, sir.
And separating witnesses is so that you can speak to the first witness or however many witnesses are away from the second one.
As best as we can, yes, sir.
As best that you can. Like in an ideal word, you separate the parties so you can say, hey, can you tell me what happened, please? Okay. Without this person interjecting.
Sustained.
So you separate witnesses.
As best as we can, yes, sir.
And the reason you do that is so that they don't talk to each other.
Yes, sir.
And they don't infect each other's version of events.
Yes, sir.
So they don't say to each other, tell people stuff that happened to add facts into their knowledge.
Yes, sir.
So that witness 1 isn't influenced by something witness 2 says.
That'd be correct, sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
and you'd agree that in this scene, you were here for some How long were you at this scene?
With all parties involved, sir.
Yeah, with all, how long do you think? It was hours, right?
Total video, including the first crash, is about 7 hours.
Yes, hours and hours. So you were there for a long time. So you weren't the only officer there.
No, sir.
There were several officers there.
Yes, sir.
And everyone's got the same training.
Yes, sir.
There's a point I'm trying to make here is that you're trying to separate witnesses, but it's difficult.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes witnesses in a scene like this, they're walking around, they're talking to each other.
Yes, sir.
So it might not surprise you that that a witness might say something at the beginning when you speak to them. They give you a version of events at the beginning, and then hours later, when they've been talking to other witnesses and other officers, they might add things in.
It's a possibility, yes, sir.
Because that's what happened here, right?
I wouldn't know, sir.
But do you remember Mr. Castro, when you first spoke to him, he said some things about what happened, and then later on he said, well, the officer told me that it was a woman. I didn't know that before. Do you remember that bit?
I don't remember that, sir.
We can talk about that in a second. But I want to talk to you about your first involvement in this case. You told the prosecutor that you were called to your original call was for a wrong-way driver.
It was for a major accident involving a wrong-way driver, yes, sir.
And do you know who Shayna Llandysul is?
She was the wrong-way driver.
She was a wrong-way driver. And do you remember speaking to her?
Yes, sir.
Now, you spent a short amount of time with Miss Llandysul. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
But when you made your way to the scene, you had to drive through backed up traffic, correct?
I had to walk back, yes, sir.
So there you go. So you had to drive to the scene. We'll look at the body camera in a minute. You drove you drove to the scene as far as you could, but you were driving, is it Northern 281?
Yes, sir.
So you made your way, you were the first officer to respond, is that right?
We were all pretty much in close proximity of each other when we were arriving.
So dispatch, a call comes in and dispatch calls local officers and then they go, is that how it works?
Correct. They sent Officer Rodriguez and Officer Lechuga first, but since it was my square, I got off my break to go handle the call.
So, all right then, so it was your square. So by your square, you talk about your patrol square?
Yes, sir, for the night.
Yeah, your district where you are assigned that square of territory, that's your space for the night to patrol.
It's not my specific space, but that's the one where I'm usually the primary officer. I still can respond to anywhere in the north side, and if there's a critical incident, we can go anywhere in the city.
Right, so of course, but that's you're the primary for that area. So you're the first one to get there.
Roughly, yes, sir.
Roughly. I mean, it was at Officer Lechuga and Rodriguez.
Yes, sir. They were right behind
They're kind of behind you. They arrived soon after.
Yes, sir.
Right, but was that State's Exhibit? Go around. Can we? Can I look at States too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to do is we've got some technical difficulties here. I want to try and this is your body camera, right?
Yes, sir.
It's been admitted into evidence of State's. So this is, have you got your camera on you today?
No, sir. It's charging at the station.
Right, so you don't have to wear it to court, but you have it on your body and it's recorded when you have an interaction with the public, right?
If it's the same one that we had back then, yes, sir, because we've recently got new ones.
But it's on your body and it records everything that's happening.
Yes, sir.
So what we're going to see is you've arrived at the scene. Right.
From the map, it kind of looks like it, but it looks like I'm still on the way.
I'm sorry, so I'm not in control of this, but right, okay, this is you arriving at the scene, fair enough?
Yes, sir.
So you're on, can you pause it now? So you've been called to a major accident where a person was a wrong-way driver, your testimony, driving up the access road onto 281.
Main lane, sir.
Onto what, sorry?
I was driving on the main lanes and it forces everyone onto the access road.
What, mainland?
Main lanes. I apologize. The freeway. Yes, sir.
So, but she's coming If we can see the screen at the top there, in the top right hand corner, this is kind of 281 traveling north, right?
Yes, sir.
And so what we're seeing now is the traffic. You can't take your vehicle any further, right?
No, sir.
Because although we can't see it, the traffic here is kind of 2 lanes, but it's going to go down to 1, right?
Further down, yes, sir.
Further down, right? And then it goes from 2 lanes, which it is here, you see on the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
And then it's going to go into 1, right?
Yes, sir.
And then that 1 is going to go off the exit ramp.
Yes, sir.
And that's where the wrong way driver has come up and had a collision.
Correct. They came from the access road.
Sorry.
They came from the access road.
They came from the access road, obviously the wrong way on the access road, come the wrong way up the access of the exit ramp, right? They're driving the wrong way on the highway. Right, okay. So this is where, at this point, you parked your vehicle at the back of the traffic that's backed up.
Yes, sir.
Correct. And if we see the top right hand corner of you see the yellow triangle, it's really weird doing it from here, I'm sorry, officer. There's a time up there, there's a timestamp. You'd agree with me on that, right?
Yes, sir.
It says axon body 3, then there's an X and some numbers, and above it there's the date, right?
Yes, sir.
2022, 7/22, and 0156. It's written in military timing. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that basically tells us what time it is. So you're arriving there at 1:56 a.m. and 9 seconds, I think.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. And so this is as far as the traffic's up. So now, so what we're going to look at here is we're going to see you, if you bear with us, you're walking down now through several vehicles that are already piled up, right? The traffic is piled up. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, and that's as close as you can get in your car, right?
Yes, sir. At least from where we came from.
Yeah, and so because now here we see that the traffic is trying to go over to 2 lanes, and the traffic is already backed up, and you see reverse lights. People are moving their vehicles, right? They can't go anywhere, but you are approaching the accident scene for the first scene.
Yes, sir.
You said you were the handling officer
Yes, sir. Initially.
initially. So what does the handling officer mean, then? Officer? What does it mean to be the handling officer?
Basically, the one that's going to be writing the report.
So because you're first on scene or because it's your square?
Either or.
Okay, right, so it doesn't matter. So it would be fair to say you get there first and you speak to Miss Alassel,
Yes, sir.
and then your other colleagues come and help you.
Yes, sir.
We might see them come and help you in a second. So you make an initial assessment of her, right?
Yes, sir.
And I believe I was kind of unsure with the testimony earlier. Did you speak to Miss Alassel?
Yes, sir.
Did you spend much time with her?
Not much time, sir.
Not
No.
much time. So your interaction with her was kind of brief, right?
Yes, sir.
And they're not trick questions, officer. And you'd agree with me that the people who really spent time with her were officer who agreed as an officer with you.
Yes, sir.
Because you keep what I'm saying, what we're seeing is how many vehicles already you have to walk past to go down to this scene, the first scene, the wrong way driver.
Yes, sir.
Have you counted how many vehicles it is?
No, sir.
How far do you think it was?
Maybe around 200 meters.
200 meters worth of vehicles end on end.
Yes, sir.
So this video still shows you walking down there. Because what does the policy tell you? What does your training tell you that you should be thinking about right now when you're approaching a major accident?
Trying to figure out where the crash is.
Right. Okay. So you obviously have to, because you said this came in as a major accident.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things you're supposed to do is call TID anyway, regardless of the casualties, right?
Yes, sir.
So you said that one of the things you're supposed to be thinking about is identifying where it is.
Yes, sir.
And then what does the policy tell you? What does your training tell you about once you've identified the scene, what you're supposed to do then?
Speak to witnesses and try to clear up the roadway.
And here we are, we've identified. So speak to witnesses and try and clear up the roadway. And like we talked about witnesses, you identify them. I guess you deal with casualties as best you can.
Yes, sir.
And I'm talking about this one first. That's on the screen. This is Miss that's Miss Alassal's car.
Yes, sir.
Driven the wrong way up the access ramp.
Yes, sir.
Right. So your first priority is to see if there's any casualties.
Yes, sir.
And this is according to that policy that you've identified, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you said, did you say something about clearing up the roadway?
As best as we can. Yes, sir.
And I guess by that you mean that can mean a lot of things, right? That can mean clearing up debris off the road.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because there might be damaged bits of car that you've got to get out of the road that are going to cause damage.
It depends on the kind of crash that we have.
It depends on the kind of crash. And you'd agree with me that clearing up the roadway means providing notice to other drivers, right?
As best as we can, yes, sir.
As best you can. And in fact, that policy says that's the first priority, right?
I believe so, sir.
Well, according to your training, I mean, review it if you want. You can please take a look. Can I approach, Judge?
Yes.
You do it. Oh, it's just no, I don't need to, Judge. We've got the same. He's already got a copy. So, also have a look at the first. I'm going to approach. Sorry, Judge. It might be easier. The bottom paragraph, responding to crashes. I've got color. I'm sorry, I've got the color copy right. Take a look at paragraph.
Yes, sir.
I'll read paragraph 4 then.
Yes, sir.
Because the policy is it's the guidelines and training for dealing with accidents, right? Yep.
I'm sorry, sir.
The policy's it's designed. It's what you're given in the academy. Like I said, it's a public document.
Yes, sir.
It's designed to help you investigate, a guide for investigating accidents.
Yes, sir.
And you agree that when it says responding to crashes, the first officer arriving at the scene is you, right?
Yes, sir.
So the first officer's responsibilities are to warn of the crash to approaching vehicles.
Yes, sir.
As best you can, right? Because you're a human being.
Yes, sir.
But you'd agree with me that that's what that policy says. The first officer responding, their job is to warn other motorists.
Yes, sir.
As best they can. What ways do you, and we've seen them, the prosecutor showed you the video earlier, and we said, what do we see now that we don't see? What ways have you got at your disposal to warn other motorists of accidents?
We have our red and blues, we have our directional arrows, and then we also have flares.
So when you say your red and blues, what you're saying to the jury is you're talking about the emergency lights that go on top of the cars.
Yes, sir.
Right, and all patrol vehicles have them.
On top, most of them.
Most, I mean, maybe some don't, right? But most cars on patrol have. So there are other vehicles coming to your scene, right, with emergency lights, the red and blues.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there's flares.
Yes, sir.
And do you have flares on board your vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Is it standard issue for people to have flares?
Yes, sir.
You know, patrol officers.
Yes, sir.
That's the standard kit in every vehicle. And what else do you have that you can put on?
A reflective vest.
Reflective, is that what they call a reflective vest? And what is the point of that?
To ensure that we're on the roadway, and if we get hit, city will cover us.
Yeah, okay. It probably is it, right? So that the city will cover you if you're insured if you get hit. But you'd agree with me, it's also to warn people because they're reflective, and if lights hit them, it kind of says police and stuff, right? That's the other ways to warn, right?
Yes, so that there's a pedestrian there.
Yeah, and this isn't a criticism, but you'd agree with me that you went to that scene, you're the first one there, but no one ever did anything to warn the vehicles behind you.
We had our red and blues on.
You had your red and blues on. But let's go back over very briefly, have a look at that body camera again. Can we? You had your red and blues on. So do you remember what time this call came in? It doesn't matter if you don't know roughly.
The first crash?
The first crash.
155.
155. So it's taking you a minute to get there. It's 156 now, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So it's taking you 1 minute to get there. If you're going to get out your car, this is from 1 minute, right? You've got your red and blue flashes on. You're the first one responding. So your priority is to go to the scene.
Yes, sir.
And your priority is to make sure no one's injured at that first scene right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we can see the build up in 1 minute. I didn't count them, but you've gone through 200 meters worth of traffic.
Yes, sir.
So for every minute, I mean, I'm not asking you to commit to this, but for every minute that you spend at that first accident, what's going on behind you? Because what road are you on there?
The exit ramp from Marshall Road.
But what highway is that?
281.
It's a highway.
Yes, sir.
Right, and there's people traveling on it.
Yes, sir.
So for every minute you spend at that accident, what's happening behind you?
Traffic's building up.
Traffic's building up. It's building up every minute. So you've got this call came at 1:55, at 1:56, there's 200. I think that makes a point there. So in 1 minute, just to your estimation, because you were there, there's 200 meters worth of traffic built up.
Yes, sir.
I'm not asking you to do any math. I'm not going to ask you to do any math. I'm bad at math, right? But you'd agree with me. You were. It was around 2:20 when the second incident happened.
Yes, sir.
Right, and that's around 23 minutes after you first got there.
Yes, sir.
Right, and so you arrived on scene at the first accident within a minute, and there was 200 meters worth of traffic.
Yes, sir.
Right. So after 23 minutes on scene, what was going on behind your car?
The second crash happened
But where did it happen?
further southwest.
Further south. How approximately how further south?
I would say maybe 200 meters. I'm not an expert.
Probably a bit more than that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, probably quite a bit more than 200 meters off the right.
Yes, I didn't measure whenever I went there.
Yeah, because you had to walk and then you could run. We'll have a look on the video in a minute, but it was quite a distance.
Yes, sir.
Right. And I know that what you wrote in your report and that you noted in your report that you noted in you have a copy of your report in front of you?
Not with me right now, sir.
Reviewed it today?
I haven't reviewed it today, sir.
Yeah.
My report.
No, I'm just going to get a clean copy.
No, I have a report.
Excuse me, everyone. This is what I want everybody to do. Court reporter cannot hear. Everybody needs to stop whispering. Everybody needs to speak up so the court reporter can hear and so that the jury can hear. So ask your question.
Sorry, Judge, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Do you have your report?
Not with me, Your Honor.
He does not have his report with him.
Would it help if you had a look at it
Yes, sir.
to refresh your memory? I'm just going to show that. Right. You recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Is that your report? Is that your report? Sorry, I've got to speak up.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're looking at this front page here has got some like biographical data on the top, time, place, and where this happened.
The approximate location, yes, sir.
Yeah, and the bottom part. And I'm sorry to reach over you. The bottom bit's called the narrative.
Yes, sir.
Right, like you said earlier, this is a summary of what's going on.
Yes, sir.
Because you can't write everything.
Yes, sir.
But these are your main thoughts and recollection. Did you write this when this incident was fresh in your mind?
Yes, sir.
And did you write this before you go off duty that day?
Yes, sir.
And is that your policy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. And it details, I want to draw your attention to page 2 if you'll turn over. There's a second paragraph. Right. I want you to read that and then look up. That's the second one. Yeah. And can you have a look at the third paragraph, the last couple of sentences of the third?
Counsel, you want to mark that so that the record can be clear?
Just mark it as defense 2. Let me go get a sticker. I'm not going to enter it, Judge.
I understand.
We'll mark that document as defense 2 for that. Okay. Yeah, just draw your attention to page 2 and I'll go sit down there. So you agree that your perceptions of this incident, by the time you went to the second crash with Miss Siebert, there was a lot of traffic lined up on the highway.
Yes, sir.
Now you would agree with me that nobody from SAPD went to the back of the traffic to try and close the road at that point.
After the first crash or the second crash?
Well, after the first crash, your vehicle was there
Yes, sir.
with your red and blue flashes on, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you call them? Not red and blue flashes, what they call?
Emergency lights?
Emergency lights. You had your emergency lights on, but then you have walked 200 meters down to the scene with Mr. Lassell.
Yes, sir. I wasn't aware exactly where the crash happened.
No, and I'm not saying you should be, but you've gone and located it and you've seen that there were no casualties and you've spoken to the drivers very briefly.
Yes, sir.
Right. But then your colleagues come and you leave her, Mr. Lassell, and the other parties to deal with that while you go and start writing your report.
That and to make sure everyone had valid licenses.
Yeah, and you're doing your investigation, right? And that's what you're supposed to be doing. But then you go and sit in your car and you're in your car for 20 minutes and nobody from the San Antonio Police Department thinks, hey, hold on a minute. You've been sitting here for 20 minutes. Let's warn the drivers behind you because traffic's backing up.
Sustained.
Let's look at the video. Let's look at your body cam.
All right, let's pause here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you all your lunch break. We're going to come back at 1:30 and we're going to continue with testimony. Remember my instructions. Do not think about this case outside of this courtroom. Do not do any investigation. Do not view anything. Do not talk to each other. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Well, when I say do not talk to each other, I mean about the case. All right. All right. If you can mute us, please, and we can go off record. There are many.
She's muted herself for some reason. I don't know why she's done that. Oh well. Oh right. I know a lot of you can't leave it. Right. So this ends there. So I'll just pause it. She just ends there. So that was the morning session, right? That was the morning session of today. There is an afternoon session. Please don't go and watch it. I was planning on streaming it now, but I'm so tired. I'll be honest. This is a 3-hour stream, and we did a stream this morning. Let me find it. Hang on. We did 5 hours and 20 minutes this morning. So we've done an 8-hour, well, nearly 8.5 hours streaming today and 14.5 hours yesterday. So I was planning on doing the afternoon session now and going on to like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning for me. But I've hit the wall a little bit. So I think it's 10 here in the evening now. I know that's like 5 o'clock for some of you. Oh, thank you, everyone. Everyone's saying, yeah. So this is bright. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I will go live at 9 a.m. Well, I think that's a sign. They kicked me out. They kicked me out again. StreamYard just literally kicked me out 5 times less today and 1 today. What are they doing? Why do I keep getting? Why do I keep getting kicked out for? What have I done? Freaking Nora. I need to get a haircut as well. I might cut my hair tomorrow and have a little bit of a shave, maybe. I don't why does that happen? Why do I keep getting kicked out? I'm not going straight to bed. I'll stay up for about an hour, but I like to spend an hour just chillaxing, you know. So I will chillax a little bit, but yeah, I just your hair grows so fast. Hang on, it does. It does grow quite fast. My beard doesn't grow that fast though. Thank you, everyone. You all understand, which is good. I enjoy. This is the part I enjoy speaking to you guys right now. But I was lagging. I was flagging. Hey, do you all see Lou Barber losing her shit? Lou Barber hates the defense attorney. Lou Barber's one of the sweetest people in the world. And she hates him. Basically, Zach, Lou Barber hates you, Zach. If you hear Zach. Yeah, must stream me. I must know I'm tired. Kick me out, Bev. Oh, Erin Hack is here. Hackster. Hey, Erin. Ole, 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 ole. Erin Hack, hack, hack. Woo! Erin Hack, 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 ole. Where have you been, Erin Hack? This is Erin. I won't lie to you. This is a really good trial. Go back. Look at opening statements, just opening statements. You don't need to look at the faff around it. And then you can skip a load until this witness comes on. And then he goes off. They do an exhibit search then, which you can skip that bit and come back. This is a good trial. Oh, this is, Eric, this is like a two-day trial. 2 day, 3 days max. It's with Judge Boyd. It's literally a 2 to 3 day trial. And actually, this is very spicy. It's interesting, actually. This is super interesting. Yeah, this is not a this is not like a week, 2 week trial. This is like, Judge Boyd, 2 to 3 day trial it is. Hopefully it'll be done by Friday. This is a manslaughter of a guy. Yeah, don't watch it today. I've only done the morning session, which is about probably an hour and a half. I'm not doing the afternoon session. I'm too tired myself. So I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow, people, 8:30 Eastern. Then what I'll do is, just so you know, don't rush here, because what I'll do is we'll chat with El Chatty, and then at 9 o'clock, then I'll start playing the rest of day one, so the afternoon session, and then day two, the full day two. So we'll have a full day tomorrow then with everything. That's what we'll do tomorrow. We'll play catch up. So yeah, we've had, I know it says 2.5 hours on the thing, but we've been streaming for about, the actual trial has been probably about an hour and a half, I would say. So maybe he wasn't offered a plead, because I said that, and someone said maybe he wasn't offered one. So that's a good point. Yeah, so 1:30 I'll go live our time, and then 2 o'clock I'll start the trial. The day one afternoon. Amy, sounds perfect. Amy, Dylan, thank you, Amy. Thank you for darling. I do hate him, not you, Zach. I'm laughing. Erin, it is great. Yeah, I think it's intriguing. I think it's different. I think it's the different trial. Do you know what I mean? It's I don't know, because I can't understand that the woman that caused the first accident didn't get anything. So I don't get that bit. I don't understand how she got nothing. So I don't know. We'll see. Jonathan, cheers, Amanda. Jonathan needs some more friends. If people know how to play Wii Sport, Jonathan wants you. Night Gem, my darling. Right. So there we are. I'll see you all 8:30 Eastern tomorrow. And as I say, don't rush. It's fine for us from the UK because it's like 1:30. Yes, you would love this. Erin, I promise you, Erin, you're going to enjoy this. It's a guy from London, Paddington. Yes. Yes. You go, Erin, this is all your world coming together. This is your dream, Erin. Erin, this is your dream. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck? This is an English guy from London, Paddington, doing this. Like Lou hates him. Lou Barber hates him because she's from Cornwall. She hates him. He's a little bit of a prick, but but yeah, I think you're gonna enjoy him. See you tomorrow, Amy. See you, my darling. Nice to see you as always. See you tomorrow. Have a good weekend night, Mama Ames, as well. Enjoy Fortnite. There you go. Right, everybody. Have a nice chill. Thank you, Lou Barber. I'll be going to bed in a little bit. Night to you as well. And you, AI Trucker. Thank you, Joe. Oops, I'm on it, Bev. Got my daughter and nephew wanted to play with me. Can I just say I don't ask them? They all think I'm quite good. There you go. It's awesome. I got the resort sports. There you go, Jonathan. See you, John. Take care, buddy. Yeah, you do. Erin will love him as well. Erin is gonna. This is Erin's ideal man. Do you know what I mean? That accent, Paddington, and everything. Haven't played in years. My ex I had a little one and I put it away. Maybe I should break it back out. Yeah, you could play Jonathan, Shari. Right, everybody. We're gonna play the outro. I am done. Done. So good night to you, Bev. Have a great evening. See you all tomorrow. I'm addicted to the bowling and golf ones. There you go, Jonathan. There you go, my friend. Right, on that note, let me just find the outro then. Shout to the Mexi Texty as always for the outro. And yeah, I will love you. I will leave you. And hopefully see the majority of you back here tomorrow. The charge is manslaughter, yes, Angelina. Manslaughter. It is manslaughter. Right. There you go, Bev, Amanda, Shari. There you go, everybody. Right, Brands. Catch you all tomorrow. Take care. Oh, fuck, where is it here? Good night.